You're listening to Almost Famous with Jim Francis Meza, only on LA Talk Radio.
We are laughing our heads off here. I'm having such a blast. You know, a little more somber and serious kind of matter. The raging of the fires. You know, up in the valley, in San Fernando Valley. I mean, we just can't catch a break. We're under siege or something. It seems. You know,
it's exhausting.
Yeah.
It is.
I got stuff packed by the door still.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
You got to go to go pack to go bag. What is it? Like we
had the evac warning a couple times, and I still haven't put that stuff away.
The
We're
cocaine,
okay now.
The cocaine and the
the
syringe. No, but it's a serious matter. I mean, there's so many people that are unhoused, you know, and my heart goes out to them, like really, really does. And I really want you guys to know that everybody's gunning for you. I mean, we're trying to just get supplies and water and whatnot to try to help these people out, you know, any way we can. Yep. But I'm super delighted. I mean, this is fantastic. It's not every day that I have a cool like band, you know. Per se. Really? No, it's not every day. I mean, you would think I would, right?
Yeah. Who do you know? What kind of clients do you have?
Typically, I have a guest. I have you know, that's the other business, the clients. No, I typically have actors, actresses, authors, political pundits, I guess, and you know. But occasionally I have a singer. I'm supposed to have like what is it? A Presley Tennant. She's like she's heard that name before. She's cool. She's a young singer. She does a lot of like what's this music that Dolly Parton kind of a vibe, you know, country of sorts. But it's like a fusion now with rock, so it's really cool.
Cool.
So yeah, and then a few others that I've had, but. I mean, I'm to have these like methods of mayhem here. It's pretty, it's pretty rad, man. I mean,
we're gonna disappoint the fuck out of you.
I doubt it. You guys, it's my distinct honor and pleasure to introduce the baby goats.
Wow.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. We need him at the show.
Yeah.
Seriously, great.
You guys can't hire me for a cheap price. Is there booze? And then I'm in for free. Okay. I mean, yeah. If there's no booze,
how often bands have to play at bars.
Yeah. Right. I'll give you my drink coupon.
We're in. So you know, it's like obviously all three of you guys shoot out of the San Fernando Valley Canyon or no?
I'm from Orlando.
Okay.
Originally.
So let's do a round robin. Start with you, my man. What's your name and what kind of instrument do you play in the band?
My name's Lance. I play guitar, and I like red roses on graves.
I love it. What about you?
My name is Chance. I'm the singer and keyboardist for the Baby Goats.
Nice.
Well, they call me Pickle, and I play drums and.
They call me
Pickle.
Say it with some conviction, man. Pickle, yeah.
He calls me Pickle.
With good reason.
That's what I'll stick with.
So where'd you guys meet? Or tell me, how did this all come about? It was just osmosis or what?
It was our children's elementary school.
Oh, get out of town.
Uh-huh.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, so all three of you guys were involved in this or?
Involved because we had kids at school. Yeah.
Okay. And how old are your kids?
Old enough. They're in there. Well, you're an empty nester, aren't you?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, that's weird.
Yeah.
Ours are in high school.
Me too. I got like a 21. Oh, he's going on 21. I just had him a couple.
Wow.
Yeah, it's nuts,
dude. That's just weird.
Yeah.
Isn't it? No, bro, I can't process.
We got little ones, and they grow up so fast, right? Like you look back at some of the pictures, like, bro, this is just taken like a fucking month ago. How does he have a mustache now?
How does she have a mustache?
How does she have a mustache? But this is LA after all. It's possible.
Right. Exactly.
So musically, there's the fusion. I hear Killers. I hear Christian Death. Susie and the Banshees meets EDM.
A little bit, yeah. LCD Sound System, Blondie.
Beautiful.
Talking Heads.
It's just sort of music that we grew up on, and,
Right.
and like
Right.
what
Or their scions, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like we've all played other music,
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
This is just where we came to now. What's
Yeah.
What we're wanting to do now.
Yeah, we were sitting around one of our very first rehearsals,
Yeah.
and we just said, you know what? Let's do the stuff that makes us happy when we were
Right.
kids. Just the stuff that made
Yeah.
us genuine.
Yeah.
I think perhaps it's possible that most musicians are their most genuine when it's that weird
Uh-huh.
lack of transition gap from being a listener to a
Mhm.
player, where you're just still so enamored with the stuff that you grew up with and the stuff you hear on the radio, and you just can't wait to play it. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
the next song that's on the radio, I'm gonna learn how to play or whatever. That's just sort of what we just went. Let's go back to
Right.
that. Let's go back to that feeling.
Yeah, for sure. You know what's funny? I grew up in Lincoln Heights, and it was right by Chinatown.
Mhm.
And I don't know if you've seen the Chinatown Punk Wars.
Yeah.
Dude.
Or you mean the documentary?
Documentary.
Yeah, that
you
was
guys
great.
seen it? Have you seen
Yeah.
it? You gotta watch it, dude.
It's great. And it's like on PBS too, so it's
Fuck,
pretty easy
it's
to.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, crying out loud. It's nuts.
Right.
It's insane. And bro, it's a cardinal sin you haven't watched it, dude. Pickle. I'm surprised. You gotta watch it too. It's great because a lot of bands came
You gonna
together.
take that shit from him?
Yeah.
Come on, dude. What's
I take
up?
it all from
Let's
you.
start
So.
speaking of wars. So it was the whole punk revolution. I mean, this is 1970s. There's bands that got together on stage at a small restaurant, which is
Wow.
bizarre.
Was it Miss Wong's or something?
Yeah, Madame Wong.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I've heard that.
And then they had well, we're not going to spoil it for you, but there's two restaurants that go at each other. One's new wave and one's more punk,
Mhm.
and one's more gritty, more like
Mhm.
in your face kind of deal. And I just thought about that, how all that was like near my house, and I never fucking knew that. I'm telling you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
It's fucking
Wow.
nuts. So, you besides like punk, and let's say if you do it all over again, what other genre do you guys like that's outside of your wheelhouse? Or
Our current wheelhouse?
yeah,
If we had to do it all over
Yeah.
again, that's an interesting question, because I don't know that there's any basis for truth.
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
I think we're coming at this so authentically
Right.
that to consider a different one would
Yeah.
be like, I don't. It's like you saying, "Hey, dude, if you're not gonna
Yeah.
do this,
yeah.
what kind of fishing are you gonna do?"
I don't know. I just throw me into the water. I'll do
I
it.
guess, right? And that's
Yeah,
I don't.
but
I-
did you like
the
each
answer
other?
is I don't know.
Okay,
I
good.
don't
I
know.
like that. You're going because you're going all the way. So it's like
Right. No half
that's the
measures.
beauty of it. You just go all in. Say fuck it. We're gonna write this bitch till the wheels fall off.
Yeah.
Oh, did
pretty
I
much.
just cuss? Oh wait.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is that against the fucking rules?
Yeah. Fuck. No guardrails, guys.
I think a big influence too was your synth.
Yeah.
We did other music
Okay.
before,
Right.
and I think a big direction was when you got.
Yeah, we were actually at the carnival at the school,
Yeah.
and the previous iteration of my solo music that I was
Yeah.
working on, Greg played on, and
Mhm.
he's like, "Hey man, I still want to play," because it had kind of just
Yeah.
it had just kind of stopped, and I go, "Well, let me tell you something, dude. I just got a Moog," and I'm thinking,
Yeah.
I got ideas.
It's
And he's
pretty
like, okay,
different.
let's play, and then that
Yeah.
seems to be sort of the emotional kernel,
Right.
functional starting block. of
Yeah.
our
Yeah.
music,
Yeah.
You know.
Wow. It's insane how because you think about everything's a fusion nowadays. But yours is so unique. I was listening to some of the stuff. It's just wow. It's really great because a lot of us like live in the 80s.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I'm fucking like an 80s buff. You talk movies, stuff like that, music, and it's everything you like you said when you're growing up, you're doing plus a little more, add some bonuses and stuff.
Right.
Do you find that obviously I would imagine your fan base, it's like the parents and the younger
Yeah.
generation of
Yeah,
sorts, or
absolutely. People who are older than us, people who are younger than us.
yeah, wow. And do you have getting groupies or
God,
those are long gone, right? That whole day of
Yeah, I
Is
don't
it
know.
like
if I
I,
Asian
have
even
any.
groupies?
I mean, I suppose it's a thing.
yeah,
I mean, one can ask Mr. Grohl about that, but
yeah.
I suppose it's a thing.
Hey, he
but
lives
it's
up the
just,
street, literally.
yeah, yeah. But no, I mean, we're all,
Yeah.
we're all.
Is there
just
a van? Do you
fans
guys
of
have
the-
like a stank van? Like
No.
like
Yeah, that's the only reason I got in the band, because I have a garage we can
Uh-huh.
practice in, and I have a
That's cool.
van.
and but outside of LA, have you,
We're still waiting for Lance to tell his first kernel of truth. He has yet. What was the first thing? Well, I already forgot. The
I was
thing.
talking
where
about
you-
roses.
Oh, roses.
Roses,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
All right.
He's gonna get you though. You have to be ready for it.
oh shit. Okay.
He's
You better tell me,
He's the dark
Pickle.
horse.
Dark horse.
Is that
So
from a movie?
No.
No, that's
I think it's a
right
song.
All right. All right, Mr. 80s buff. This is going to be somewhat of a trick question. Lost Boys, good or bad movie?
Lost Boys is great.
It's a terrible
It's a good movie.
It's a terrible movie.
No, says who?
It's so ridiculous.
Says who?
My brain, the last time I watched it, I'm like,
No.
holy shit, this is awful.
But that's
like I completely forgot how bad it was.
That's your opinion.
Well, of course, that's the point. That's the point of opinion.
I think it's fact that it's a great film.
It's
and I'll tell you why
bad movie.
No, it's a great good movie. I happen to like it because it was entertaining to me.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
No.
I like it.
Well,
Yeah.
that's
Maggots,
entertaining.
Michael. You're eating maggots.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I saw it the other day. I'm like, oh my god, what is going on? This,
It's like the Goonies.
Yeah.
You know, I
it's been a
used
lot
to drive
of
Richard Donner. It's like a true story, and I used to call him every year.
Uh-huh.
Hey, when are you gonna make Goonies 2? Corey Feldman put me up to it. All right. When are you gonna make Goonies? You know, that guy was all hung up on that.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's crazy. That was such a great film. You know, fucking looking for treasure hunting and whatnot, and
Yeah.
it's got all the elements you like as a kid. You know, they just
Yeah,
know how
yeah.
to get you.
Yeah.
They know how to
absolutely.
get you and
I
stuff.
agree with that.
And so you guys ever like played outside of LA, or you got played back home for
Well,
you?
We've never been outside of the state.
Okay.
So that's a dream that'll hopefully one day come true.
Okay.
The only place we've really played outside of town is Ventura and Oxnard.
And
That's pretty far.
Palmdale.
That's San Diego.
And Palmdale. That's correct.
Palmdale.
Was that, or is that
San Diego's coming
Lancaster?
up.
Right out there.
It's Palmdale.
Palmdale.
Yeah. And then we're playing San Diego in about
Right.
a month.
Okay.
So that'll be our first. San
And let's
Diego
talk about your show. You're playing a show this Friday, right?
Yes, we're playing the
Talk
Viper
about
Room.
it.
The
Viper Room.
Viper Room,
Whoa, the Viper Room.
which is still around.
David
I-
Faustino owned that, I heard, back in the day.
Did he?
And
I
Johnny
don't know.
Depp.
I knew
Yeah,
Johnny
and
Depp
with,
and River Phoenix.
Yeah, River
Yeah,
Phoenix.
well,
and
oh, that's
Keanu
right.
Reeves as well, I believe.
Was he a part of it too?
I think so.
Right.
Or maybe he was just best friends with River
Far
Phoenix.
back
Yeah,
in there.
could have been.
In the
No,
right-
yeah. So
They
the
say in the
Viper,
right lighting you can see River Phoenix's ghost on
I've
stage
heard that.
Yeah.
I've heard that. Yeah.
at midnight.
Oh, is it at midnight?
It's got to be
on
at
Wednesday.
We're going on at 9:45, so we're not going to be able to see River Phoenix's ghost. He's like, nope, not coming out. I don't care how good
I'll
these
take
guys
a
are.
rain check on that.
We'll be on the guest list.
Oh, yeah.
I would imagine he's on the eternal guest list.
Yeah.
Yeah, forever,
You would
dude.
think?
So like the Viper Room, is it still around? I heard
Yeah,
oh
yeah.
shit, who
Yeah.
somebody bought
I
it.
haven't
and-
been there in ages.
Yeah,
so
I've been
I don't know
hearing
what's changed.
for years that the place is closed down or whatever,
Yeah.
but they're
Still cooking.
pumping out some good
Yeah.
shows
Yeah.
there. So
And shout out to the promoter. The promoter's really cool. His name's Stefan Poole.
Stephen Poole.
And he's the one who got us into the show.
Yeah,
And we go on at 9:45.
9:45.
It's
It's like a Dirty Mondays thing.
It's a Dirty Mondays promotion. I think they're involved in both Los Angeles and Italy, like Milan, Italy. So it's both a cool connection to just have, but also the guy's really cool. I like him.
That's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Viper Room, dude. That's a dream.
Yeah.
Like, just to be able to play there. I mean, you guys have done like the Whiskey a Go Go.
Mm-hmm. Not together
Yeah,
as a band,
not
but
together.
individually we have.
So is it true like people pay to get in, pay to play of
Yeah.
sorts? Yeah. Is that how it's?
Yeah, that's a lot now.
Yeah.
We're not.
It's
really
not
doing
as much as it used to be,
that.
right?
Right.
But in West Hollywood, they still do it. And I think it's just because they can. Now, recently I've been talking to some of the promoters at the clubs, and I just tell them, listen, that's not our game. And it ends up actually being a really respectful conversation. They're like, that's cool. This is what we do. That's cool that what you do is not do that. And when you can play as many people, when you can bring as many people as we need to
Right.
have you not pay to play,
Right.
we'll have a show. And I'm like, that's cool by me.
Yeah. It's like no different than comics. Like you do the stand-up
Yeah.
comedian, like
Right.
yeah, well, you have to buy the drink minimum.
Yeah.
You're like, hey, I just passed for this time. Okay, just capture me. No. You need some drinks. You need some ice. You want water? Like, dude, they come and
$10
want you to
water.
that. Like, your friends are like, sucker, gotcha.
Yeah.
And then they're like, what the fuck? You never told me beforehand that I was supposed to like pay to minimum, but I guess that's what it is.
Comedy club.
Yeah.
It's on some strange level. You can almost see both sides of it.
Yeah.
You see on one half where the promoters and the clubs are like, listen, we have rent in a very ridiculous place, and we're happy when bands come to play and they're actually good, but oftentimes they're not. And oftentimes they say they're going to bring a lot of people, and oftentimes they don't. I mean, I get it. But at the same token, it's very, very difficult for a band to build up a draw in front of nobody but their family.
Mhm.
You know, you have to play in front of a regular crowd.
Right.
And so the trick for us is that we've found some really great venues that have some kind of a draw, or at least some kind of a community, you know, because the community is really important for us to not just have other bands bring their people and then we play in front of them and then we cross pollinate.
Right.
But it's just the ability for us to celebrate, support these bands that we meet,
Right.
you know, whether it's the band Osnova or whatever, you know, Maudlin Strangers. There's a Mall. There's a band Mall. We have all these new friends as a result of playing locally in town.
Yeah.
And that makes a difference because we support them when they're playing and we're at most practicing, you know, and they come and support us when they're not playing and they can come and see us, you know.
Yeah, it's a community of sorts. Like, it just comes together so beautifully.
And it's incredibly difficult to do it in this town.
Yeah.
Because this town is, a lot of people say that Los Angeles is one big city. I don't believe that. I think Los Angeles is 10,000 very small cities.
Yeah.
They're all right next to each other, but it's very balkanized.
Yeah, little factions everywhere.
Yeah, and you can, if you can wrap your head around that, it's beautiful. It's really cool. You know, I mean, San Gabriel Valley, you're eating amazing Chinese food, and then you go to Thai Town, where we just played New Year's Eve at Harvard and Stone, and it is just awesome. And there are all these just little communities.
Little clumps.
San Fernando Valley, completely different. Tarzana is different than Northridge, which is different than Granada Hills. Like they're just so different, you know.
And so you're saying in terms of the style or the sound that people like, it
is that too.
Yeah.
You know, and that was when we were first playing. That was very, very difficult to find a night that didn't seem absurd.
Right.
You know, like a Genesis cover band, followed by a death metal band, followed by us, which were like dance punk, and then followed by like a bunch of kids who are 12 years old playing metal, like speed metal.
Right.
And that's cool in and of itself. But does any of it make any sense? No, it doesn't.
Talk about a hodgepodge.
Right. So then the community dies because you got parents who are coming to see their kids and then they leave and you just have like, you know, the metal band just leaves once the top 40 band starts playing, you know, there's no sense of, hey, I'm going to stick around.
Right.
You know?
Right. Yeah. Cause some people don't appreciate other people's music. It's just not in their wheel kind of house.
Right.
Right. I feel like where we are now, we're kind of building this community where we're playing with bands who are there to see us, and we are going and seeing bands. You know, we'll be like, hey, let's go see this band on Friday because they're playing it. Right. You know, and we really are kind of trying to build that, and it's coming together more now for sure. Yeah.
Wow.
It makes a difference. It's hard work, but it makes a difference. You know?
Wow, it's pretty cool. And what's what are some of your like friends that you guys are? You mentioned a couple bands like
Osnova is we love those guys. A band called Mall.
You said Maudlin Strangers.
Maudlin Strangers are
Strange
really
Hotels.
good. Strange Hotels, yes.
Strange Hotel sounds cool.
Yeah, they're a two-piece. They're cousins.
Really?
So it's the drummer. They both kind of share the singing. So it's the drummer and then the keyboardist plays guitar, and the drummer has a sample pad and they also have like this little what do you think for doing harmonies, like a harmonizer. So they hit it and it sounds like 14 people singing or whatever. No, those guys are great. Really good. Very talented. They're actually a little more in our wheelhouse because they want the people to dance, and that's kind of what we are.
Right.
You know,
my buddy just they changed their name from, I forget what they were before, but now it's the Breakfast Club, and they do a lot of the covers. And, yeah, they'd be playing with missing persons or.
Oh yeah.
It's kind of cool.
Canyon Club.
Yeah. And so when did you guys start? Like, when does this all like come together? How long ago has it been?
Well, we started right before the pandemic.
Oh shit!
Like moments.
Okay.
And then that happened.
Right.
So you can't call it a blessing in disguise under no circumstances can you call it that. But the way we dealt with it.
Creative juices were flowing, you got to say.
We said, you know what? Let's continue to practice. Let's figure out who we are going to be as a band.
Right.
Let's decide what kind of sounds we want, what kind of direction that we want. And we experimented, you know?
Yeah.
And then what happened is we started to work on our demos, and we just built up our thing. And then slowly things started to open up. So we started at least just putting out feelers like where should we play and who's going to help us in that regard. And then we started playing like a 2022.
Like a supernova.
Yeah. So it'll be 3 years in March since our first truly official show.
Wow. If I didn't know any better now, like, who would think you guys been playing for like the last 10 years?
Oh,
it's
wow.
that good. Yeah.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And it's just so high intensity. The intensity, it's like people are just all about it, hopped up on life, really, on the music. That's what it's about. Do you guys ever like, I mean, I'm sure there's creative differences in the three after all your three different beings, but how do you guys come together with the, in terms of like say a song, or okay, we're going to write, or how's the writing process come together? Who writes the song? All three of you guys, or is there?
And I'm the principal, probably. Okay. Lance is also contributes as well. But I think the thing with us is we're incredibly communicative. Right. So one of the things that we don't do, we were just talking about this just a couple of days ago. That's the ironic thing.
Wow.
We were just reflecting a little bit on how we've traveled so far, right? And I think when we first put this band together, the idea was to learn from all of our past mistakes.
Okay.
To, if there's an issue, let's just talk about it. And there's a thing that I heard the other day that an engineer said this once during a session, that like, you can argue about the idea and it will actually take longer than just to try the idea. So that's what we do. We will, sometimes it'll take us a little longer to get there, but if someone comes up with an idea, we'll try it. And all it means is that we can go 15 seconds later, we can go, or that maybe didn't work, but and then they may be thinking the same thing, and they're like, yeah. Instead, I'll go 4 on the floor or whatever. Like we'll just go.
It's like a fusion of all your thoughts come together. As you go, like in real time. It's phenomenal.
Yeah.
I think one thing that's been really helpful is recording like we're either working on songs, or sometimes we just have jams like in between shows where we're just jamming and maybe you brought parts that you're kind of working on, but we. I mean, Lance is like does sound for a living, and it's like set up and like the recordings that we do for rehearsals are just great. Like fantastic. I'll text somebody, hey man, that one jam we did that was sort of like the Police, man, check that out. And I think that
we record every practice. Every practice, including the ones that we do for the live show. So we'll have, like when we play the Sewer in Ventura, that's an hour and 15-minute show. We will practice that entire hour and 15-minute show, unless we're sick or whatever. But I mean, we'll practice it, and then we have something to listen to either on the way there, if we just want to listen and want to double check, especially if it's like a new transition or it's a new song, we can hear ourselves either execute or poorly execute or get close to executing. I know it sounds really sort of type A, but it really helps speed up the process.
I think it's
different. I mean, that's kind of my whole routine for shows is that on my way to driving to it, I listen to the practice of the show.
Oh.
And then just kind of mentally can go over each part of my head, and then
so you kind of like sink into it, like
exactly. Just kind of.
That's smart. And then also when you're actually go ahead, finish your thought.
That's exactly. And you can just hear the parts again, and you can hear everything and just kind of go through it in your head.
It's a PreSonus. I was just checking to see what kind of.
Oh, okay.
We've been looking at mixers.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. You can take this. You can take this one, bro.
Take it.
I think Sam's not watching.
Make it down to the lobby.
No, and so I think it's great. Like it's brilliant that you record so everything like it happenstance kind of a way where like dude that sound right there. Oh dude,
I'm sure you know how many times you've come up with an idea and you're like. And you don't record it, and then it's just into the ether.
It's never as good.
Yeah,
it's
like the timing's different, or just the pattern, and it's just lost in the ether. So
who's the worst? Right? Who's the worst like critic in the band?
I don't know. I don't know.
If I had a guess, I would say it's you.
Well, I have an incredibly high standard.
Right,
and we have to reach it, and that takes time. But I hope that these guys will at least somewhat agree that I'm patient. That I believe that it's just, I would rather spend the time to work it out. Like I know sometimes when we first got his sample pad, he would get very frustrated because he wasn't used to working on synths. And I'm like, dude, I've been doing this since I was 15. It's okay. I can help you just intuitively. I can probably guide you to where you need to go. And plus I would rather you take the time to flesh it out rather than going, oh, well, I don't have it. I can't figure it out right now. I'll do it later. I'm like, no, let's just do it now. And so in that regard,
You guys kind of polish each other and help each other sort of complement.
Yeah, we'll stop a practice to work on a guitar tone.
That's rad.
You know,
so that's how you fine tune everything. That's why when it comes alive, holy shit, fuck, no wonder. Hence why it seems like it's been 10 years. Like when you listen to it, like wow, these guys, why aren't they like you guys? Okay, begs the question, why aren't you signed yet, or is that just it's done differently now?
Yes, is that a thing?
We don't even know if a label has ever seen us before, and that's fine.
Right.
We just don't even know how to process that right now. It's just the world is so different.
So different than it used to be.
Well, we put out an album on our own, and my experience with albums, like you buy the album, right, and we've been putting, you put it out one song at a time now, you know, and that's it's a different world,
and it's great, right, in the sense that like you have this one song that comes out, and it's the one song that people can just marinate and say, "Fuck, that song is great," without there being 10 other ones. Maybe not all 10 will be the same, or like
I mean, that is a good point, especially people's attention span now.
Come on, dude. TikTok.
The one that's actually lately started to just sort of surge a little bit is the very first one that we released, the very first song called "Won't Stop Waiting."
Right. So I hope people are going back.
They're kind of going back.
I like the Electricity song. It's just so catchy, dude.
Dude, see that one live. You gotta see.
I gotta see it live on Friday. Friday, you guys gonna be out at the Viper Room.
Yeah.
I'll bring my wife. Tell her to come.
Punk
rock, baby.
Yeah, tell her it's dinner.
For sure.
Tell us wine, dinner and wine.
Right.
Show up yeah, for sure. And what's God, I mean, like, it's insane for me to wrap my head around like the fact that you guys are not just musicians. You guys are like curators of the music. It seems to me like you guys just kind of really,
Well, that's just it. It's at this point, we all have different backgrounds when we grew up. I came from more of metal stuff. Like you said, like all the
Iron Maiden, baby.
The hair
Huge
metal
fan.
and all that stuff when I was a kid. But
you had long hair when I first met.
Yeah. And then so it's just kind of. But at the same token, I still liked all the Depeche Mode stuff, and the Janet Jackson Control, all that stuff was good too. So so all of that stuff just kind of is.
It's who you are
meshed inside of me, and then and then I played metal for a long time, just and then
you did that too.
Yeah.
Carcass, I think Carcass, or even Slayer, and some of Slayer songs, right, or Corrosion of Conformity, like back in the day. It's all these bands.
Yep.
But
and then we just kind of like we all just kind of like the same thing, and on top of that, we all like a good groove, so it just kind of it squeezes together.
What's that? Reminds you. Right now, when you're saying that, like, the metal stuff, and then like the fusion typo negative, is that the name of the band? Like, that
goth,
kind of goth.
I saw them open up for 9 Inch Nails.
Remember that?
Yeah, long time ago.
Wow, saw like a video on YouTube way back, and that's what it was like. Trenton Reznor had him on, or wow, that's just insane. And like you said, like in the olden days, the conglomerates, there was only a few big labels, Capitol Records and whatnot, and they would Columbia, and they would just kind of own you. Like you had to just keep, fucking cranking out songs, cranking out albums. So it kind of takes away, I think, of the creativity, it seems,
Yeah, I think nowadays there's not, I think probably even with most of the big artists, all the money's in touring and merchandise, because
pretty much
with all of the streaming services,
you make nothing.
You can
you make nothing.
Well, I remember us going, hey, is there going to be an industry here tonight?
Yeah,
that was the thing.
Right. There used to be a thing called an industry list on.
When you
would have shows, it'd be like you'd have an industry list that's separate from the guest list.
Okay.
They just had to show a card. They had their name, whatever, and they would get in for free.
Like A&R people,
A&R guys,
whatever.
Yeah, publishing guys, whatever. Cats.
I think the age of technology, even TikTok, can put out like you'll hear a song from way back when, and all the young kids like it now. So
but that's the thing too. It's like even with my daughter, all the TikTok songs. It's all old songs.
Yeah.
She doesn't listen to any of like the new.
Isn't that ironic?
Maybe a couple here and there, but it's like she's cranking AC/DC and
Zeppelin. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah. And I think I told you this. I have a hypothesis about that.
What is it?
It's kind of like Tom Brady being the quarterback till he's the age of 45. There's no opportunity. How many quarterbacks went to seed behind Tom Brady.
Right.
You get what I mean? That could have been. I mean, look at Montana and
Steve Young.
Steve Young's a Hall of Famer, and he sat behind Joe Montana for how long? Like a long time.
Yep.
So how many people went to see behind Rodgers, behind Brady, and all those guys who just want to keep playing?
Right.
You know, who could be Hall of Famers, who ended up maybe tapping out because they didn't get the shot. You know, so there's a lot of I mean, look, we're not. A lot of people say, "Well, who's your competition in town?" Yeah. Nobody is our competition in town.
You're unique, dude.
No, I don't mean it that way. I don't mean it that way. Every single band that we play with is our community. They're not our competition. The Foo Fighters, Beyonce, Taylor Swift, Paul McCartney, the Stones, they're our competition. Why? Because you've decided you're going to go see them instead of us.
Right.
And we have to change that mind. We want you to come see us.
Yeah.
So that's how we view it. We don't have like any kind of internal or external struggles with our local community. Yeah. But we would love to get the money that other bands get. You know?
Look at bands like a metal band. Thinking of Armor Saint was huge with John Bush. Holy John shit, Bush, man. Dude!
I know that guy. He's a lovely person.
These dudes were like local cats from LA. I mean, you think about what could have happened, and then you think, you know, in terms of, I'm sure they amass wealth, but not like Slayer money, not like Metallica money. Oh, by the way, John Bush was supposed to be the lead singer to Metallica. I just realized that.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, but those are guys.
He was in Anthrax
for a while.
Yeah. You're right.
That's how I met him.
So right, what a voice, right? And you think about some of these guys, like years later, they start amassing that cult following almost.
He actually sang background vocals on a song of mine from an old band.
Who?
John Bush.
Are you fucking serious, dude?
Mm-hmm.
I am a John Bush. I grew up near where the band started in the 80s.
Oh, cool.
So it was like a thing, like Armor Saint.
Really, really nice guy. I liked him a lot.
Nice
I haven't seen him in ages.
Yeah,
super nice.
That's
cool,
man.
He actually quit singing to do he does voiceover for commercials and stuff.
Oh, that's great.
Good for him. The voice of Chevy and stuff or something.
That's rad. Yeah.
Hey, well, different strokes for different folks,
you guys
right?
need to get the new Toyota
Yeah.
Oh my God. So you guys.
Did you say 4-wheel drive? That's fucking great.
So speaking of which, I mean, you obviously have like the new platforms and streaming apps. How cool is that now it's happened that because of these apps, you know, and streaming, you know, and the TikTok and the, well, I don't know about the Facebook and MySpace, that's really old, but a lot of that stuff puts music in the ears of people way in the corners of the earth, you know, on the other side of the earth.
That is fascinating. Yeah,
I mean, that is
fascinating. I mean, I just talked to 2 people from Peru yesterday.
Really?
Yeah, and then they were struggling with their English, and I'm like, listen, man, you're Brazilian. Your English is way better than my Brazilian Portuguese, right? so
yeah,
it was still a wonderful conversation. We're like, they just wrote amazing.
Yeah,
and I'm like, what's amazing?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm leading the witness a little bit, right? Or pulling them in, but they were like, I'm so happy. The song, it's happy. It makes me happy. I want to dance. That's just something like that, you know?
And we need a lot of that, bro. To be honest with you guys, we really need a lot of you know, it's just par for the course to have a lot of depression, and we need happiness in these times, these moments where the fires, I mean, unprecedented. I mean, like on a serious level, this is not funny at all because people lost their lives, man. Like 17, 30 people losing their lives in our backyard.
Yeah.
Like, holy shit, that happened. The whole place is decimated. I mean, the purge and Altadena. That's one that was left out. I think I said last week. We were talking about with my last guest, you know, about how all the focus is in the rich areas, but we're forgetting about Altadena. There's a lot of poor folk out there that are living out of their cars, living in the Pasadena Civic Center. I think they're opening that up.
Yeah,
and
a lot of churches are opened up.
Right. It's unimaginable pain, dude. Like to lose your pets, dogs, cats. And so it's refreshing, man. Like, you know, music. We need music. It heals. It really does. What's some of the songs that have healed you when you were like growing up and stuff? What's music that you turn to? I know when I was getting my ass kicked, I listened to Metallica.
Really?
Sorry, dude. Guilty as charged, Metallica and Megadeth. Thank God they fired Dave Mustaine. I was like, yeah, Megadeth's great band, but go ahead.
That's an interesting question. Healing.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe The Cure's Disintegration and the Sundays Reading, Writing, and Arithmetic. Probably those two. A little on the melancholy side, but
Right.
I've always loved those two.
But isn't it funny how like the Smiths, for example, like you'll die in a double decker. What if a double decker bus hit you or killed you, killed the both of us, you know? And it sounds like your PVC people dancing to it. Like,
Right.
There's the irony, right? The paradox behind that. What about you, Pickle?
I don't know. That's a tough question. I don't know.
You know, I mean, what was the music you went your go-to music? Like,
I mean, I went through so many stages. You know, like when I was like 13, I was really into punk, and my friends were into punk, and then it kind of moved on to more like listening to Rush and then jazz and Steely Dan and playing like I used to play hand percussion.
Yeah. Steely Dan. Were those the guys? There was a Thin Lizzy that didn't really like go on the road. There was one of the bands, I think, or I think it was them, right?
Alan Parsons Project, maybe.
Yeah,
because Lizzie toured it before. Yeah, so
it was the other.
And I think Steely Dan's toured too, because that was like, isn't that what's that guys? Jackson Brown and a bunch of guys were in Steely Dan.
Were they?
Yeah, I think so.
Another alley.
I don't think Jackson Brown.
No,
I think he's always been on his own, right? That Highland Park cat. He's badass though. Jackson Brown. Wow, and he's like so underrated. Like it's also like a kind of indie kind of. You know, if I have to imagine like indie music, you know, Jackson Brown versus.
I just hear the Eagles every time I hear him.
Yeah, bro, the Eagles.
Yeah, take it easy.
Was that Jackson Brown?
No, I think he wrote that song, didn't he?
Oh.
No, or maybe he.
Yeah, that's the Eagles, right? Take it easy.
I'm not positive. Maybe he didn't write that song. Maybe it's
what a great song.
But he should have.
I like his honesty. It's true. You know, sometimes you feel like that you should have.
Like, Steely Dan. They should have done
it. Shit, man. We're already talking way too much about 70s music right now.
Maybe I'm thinking of Steve Winwood. Who was he in the Steely Dan thing?
No, he was in Megadeth.
He's in
Mega Life.
What else like the Disturbed guy? I mean, I like, you know, Simon and Garfunkel, you know, doing that song, you know, but not having the guy in Disturbed just takes it to the next level. He redid that song Silence, the Sound of Silence, and it's just impressionable in every respect.
What'd you do past the Dutchie?
To the right hand side.
Well, you guys do a cover of the Killers, right?
We do.
Okay.
That's our latest release. Actually, we released that last week, I think, something like that.
Yeah, it was really rad. I heard it. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah, and that's live. It's live too.
So you do a lot of your stuff. You obviously you want, for obvious reasons, to do lives. You want to go on the road and have people come.
Yeah.
What's been like? If you guys noticed, like, you know, more and more people are showing up to your shows. Yeah. More important people. You're watching your families just grow exponentially. Or has that happened like in the last year, or like from the beginning for you guys?
I would say it started in earnest last year.
Okay.
Subtly.
Right.
And I just feel like we're a long game band for whatever reason. Yeah. It's not an explosive. I mean, maybe it could. Maybe there's a tipping point coming. We just haven't seen it yet. But yeah, we're starting to see. You know, like when you drop the rock in the pond, you start to see ripples.
Right. The ripples.
The first ripple is your family. The second ripple is your friends. Yeah. Friends of friends, and then the people you just don't recognize.
Yeah.
We're starting to get that.
I love it.
Which is really cool.
Yeah.
That's so rad.
Yeah, that's really cool.
The baby dolls, ladies and gentlemen.
And then we end up being friends with them.
Yeah,
that's a cool thing.
That's so cool. Yeah. That's a far cry from what other bands did.
Yeah,
unless Motley Crue is, you know, they invite them to the apartment.
Friend for 15 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
5 minutes.
Find a friend.
Only if you had good drugs.
Right.
So that's what's different now, right? Like it's not like all drug infused like it used to be. You know, we're growing up, we go to a concert, like especially Maiden concerts.
Of course.
Not everybody nowadays, but in the olden days, everybody was on something, man.
What's Molly? What's Molly? I don't know shit about drugs. What's Molly?
Ecstasy.
It's X. Okay.
Yeah.
So there are places that we play where there are lots of kids on X.
Because I could see how that would be like fucking an eternal melody, you know, like it just takes you on this whole trance.
Yeah. There's a lot of happiness going on. Yeah.
But yeah, to your point, you know, before back in the day, it was like, you know, you went on tour, it was like you brought your drug dealer and you brought your and now you bring your personal chef and your personal trainer, you know.
It's more health conscious, right?
Yeah, yeah. You know, they have exercise equipment backstage.
Like when Korn, right? Like Korn kind of started bringing that after a while. I guess they messed with drugs and stuff for a while.
Yeah.
Then there was they're all healthy. Like that's really wild, man. And what was the first show, like the meaningful show, like that show that was like that watershed moment where you say I went there and then it was a turning point. Like it just
February 2nd, right?
Yeah.
Harvard and Stone.
Is that show?
Here's why it was a turning point. In the middle of the set, Pickle, like a fan of the music, I don't even think he realized. He said, "Oh my God, there's like a lot of people here. They're really having a good time." Like he literally just starts getting like so like into it. That's his voice.
Was I there that night?
Yeah. Like he was like so like excited, and it's because the crowd, they were giving as much as we were giving, and it was fucking rad. And then when we started playing the Sewer in Ventura, we get a lot of that every time we play there too.
Wow, dude. Fucking mind blown, man.
Yeah, that's great.
That's
great. And we're freaking out over 50 to 100 people. Can you imagine how much fun we're gonna have when that becomes exponential?
Yeah. Like the ripples, dude. One show at a time, right?
Yeah. Let's turn that pond into an ocean.
Fuck yeah. Let them drown in it in a good way. Which, speaking of drown, we're gonna have a hellacious monsoon soon, supposedly, right?
That's gonna put all the fires out, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's supposed to rain this weekend.
I just heard it's supposed to rain. Is it supposed to be a monsoon?
I think it's supposed to be,
well, it's a monsoon for Southern California.
Like a 35% chance of rain.
Right? For LA, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
Dude, the last few years it's been crazy rain. Yeah.
I
think
this year, not.
Torrential rain.
Quarter to half an inch or something.
Oh, okay. All right.
But it's supposed to snow up by the other fire that just started.
Cool. Okay.
Yeah, man. This is wow. It's 8:41 already. We got like down to few more minutes.
No.
Where did time go?
This
right?
has been fun, man. I can say that we really appreciate your enthusiasm for music and your enthusiasm for communicating and being social, man.
Thank you, bro. I'm gonna actually turn out to one of your shows for sure.
Please.
I'm gonna try to make it for Friday. I know
That would
Friday's
be
gonna be my mind serves me well. We're supposed to go somewhere on Friday for more of a reunion of sorts with some of the high school people, but in the olden days, way.
Bring them.
Yeah, I know. I knew you were gonna say that. I was like, dude,
you walked into that, dude. You're like, well, I'm gonna have like 50 people with me, so.
But
you'd be on the industry list.
And scene.
Yeah, I like the way you brought it back. It's beautifully done, very masterfully done. You obviously what are you working on some material now that you could talk about? Okay.
Yeah, we got a lot of new stuff that's coming out. We probably have 3 songs from the first group.
Okay.
Tunes that we still have to release because we're trying to release like once every 6 weeks or so. And that, believe it or not, takes time.
Yeah.
But then we're also getting ready to go in the studio and maybe do a batch of 5.
Yeah, I mean, I think in the past month or two, we've played 3 new songs.
3 new songs live. Yeah.
And we've got a couple in the can still that are, we had a bunch of shows coming up, so they weren't quite ready, but they're close too. So,
dude, you ever get like JD? You look like this movie American Me or something. You remind me of that guy that plays JD, that actor. Let me see if I can look him up. I swear, dude. Ready?
All right.
Not gonna go through the alphabet in your head.
No, it's crazy, dude. You got like that quality of him. It's totally him. I swear to God, dude. It's like fucking crazy. I'll show you a picture right now. This cat right here, dude. William
Forsythe. I don't see that.
When he was younger, though.
Oh yeah,
like
that's not a very good picture of him.
That's him.
Yeah. yeah. I see there.
Okay.
Yeah. Wow.
And that picture's close.
That's crazy.
It's pretty amazing. He's been in a whole lot of shit.
Yeah. I recognize the name.
Yeah. Any chance that I could come out of there and be like, maybe be one of your groupies? I like to.
Yes.
Yeah. I like to come out to one of your. Not only that, but also to when you do rehearsals. That's at your place.
It's at
your place. Where do you live? Where about?
What?
We could talk about it off.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Yeah. We're also playing Corbin Bowl, which is just a
dude. That's like a hop, skip, and a jump.
Away from here.
Right.
It's Bar 10.
That's correct. Well, it's Bar 10 at the Corbin Bowl.
Yeah.
We love.
This is a great spot. It's a great spot.
It's a great spot.
They recently redid it and it's killer.
I saw like a rockabilly band or something. I forget their name, but there at one point.
Redid the sound system, the stage. It's like it's legit. Man.
General manager's name is Jesse. He's just great people, man.
What's his name?
Jesse.
Jesse's girl.
I wish that I had
Jesse's girl.
But yeah, it's a great place, and
And
we're playing
playing.
on March 28th.
Play
March 28th.
footsie with me? What's wrong with you, Pickle?
I was surprised he pulled the date out. I'm like, what date? People are always like, hey, when are you playing next? I'm like, oh, I don't know. Here, check
Let me text Chance.
Yeah. Give me a minute. Did you follow us?
Yeah.
So speaking of which,
Friday is the Viper Room. That's the big one. We go on at 9:45.
Uh-huh.
You can get pre-sale tickets through either our website or Instagram. We have
MySpace. Yeah, MySpace. That's where bands started. And once upon a time, the bands would promote
That was
themselves
first,
on
yeah.
MySpace.
We remember MySpace.
The Pony Express. Okay. Once again, we play here at the Corbin Bowl.
Yeah, that's March 28th.
March 28th.
Yeah, so that's in a couple months.
Okay, cool.
February 28th is our San Diego show.
All right.
Playing
And where can they follow you or stalk you? What's your social media?
At the Baby Goats Music is the primary place. It's Instagram. And follow us on Spotify too, because that actually makes a difference. Yeah. Oh man, that bronchitis sound is really cool, man.
Thank God you could talk now.
Yeah,
Man, that was,
dude.
Yeah.
it was
That
sick for
was
like
terrible, huh?
30 days.
Yeah,
Really,
I've
man?
been sick for 6 weeks. It'll be 6 weeks.
You're sick,
And,
motherfucker.
And the mental illness is longer.
That's since age 3. But yeah, I got the flu, and then I got a really bad case of bronchitis, and we had to play. We played a big show on New Year's Eve at Club Decades, Harvard and Stone, and I had a bag of cough drops, just popping them the entire show because I couldn't. I would go.
That's his drug of choice, ladies and gentlemen.
I thought he was going to say a bag of weed.
Oh man, I've had nothing but a fun time. Thanks. Can we do this again, guys? Part 2.
Thank you, brother.
Of course.
Appreciate you guys.
Yes, absolutely.
Guys,
Yes.
give it up for the Baby Goats.
Thank you, everyone.
Almost famous. Until next time, your host, Jim Francis Meza. Take care, guys.
May I ask something? If we become famous, are we not allowed on anymore?
No. You go to Juicy Diva's Confessions of a Limo Driver.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
Used to be famous.
Yeah, used to be famous. That's my show, guys. Thanks so much.
You're listening to Almost Famous with Jim Francis Meza, only on LA Talk Radio.